Everyone, Ryan here, and welcome to my review of the LEGO Star Wars 2024 Droideka. Given set number 75381 with 583 pieces, it retails for $65, and in this review, we'll find out if it's worth that $65. This is a 25 years of LEGO Star Wars set, therefore it's got that little logo, it's got the little blue stripe at the bottom, kind of love the color scheme of it with the black art, it works really well, and it is also a 25th anniversary of the Phantom Menace set. However, there's no special brick or anything inside, you just have the small logo denoting that on the side of the box. Cool, but I do wish we got a movie brick like we did with Return of the Jedi. On the back of the box, you'll see that the set's main function is that it can actually roll up, which is going to be a pretty sick feature to take a look at. Getting inside of the box, you have 6 numbered bags, a reasonably sized sticker sheet, and a pretty nice looking instruction manual, inside of which is a bit of writing about the Droideka and what it was designed for, which you can pause to read if you'd like. Now, included with the Droideka, we have this collector's display stand, and I think it's a really good setup. On the right, we have the 25th anniversary brick. Now, we have seen these included in other 25th anniversary sets, and like I said, I wish it was a specific movie brick for the Phantom Menace, but it's still a very nice brick in its own right, and if you don't end up buying any of the other sets that include it, you'll be happy to own it with this. In the middle, we've got our 6x12 display plaque, and it's got the manufacturer, affiliation, weapons, equipment, and height for the Droideka, always looking good with that blue color for the build there, and as of about a year ago, these were all printed, so this one looks really good with the print instead of the sticker. It's just nice and high quality and helps justify the price ever so slightly more. So it somewhat caught me off guard that this Droideka set would include a Minifig-Scale Droideka, because the last set like this in the Probe Droid did not include a Minifig-Scale Pro Droid, but alas, this one does, which is great. Unfortunately, this crack at a Droideka reminds me of when SpongeBob tried to inflate his arms to make them look bigger. It's basically the same thing, but with the guns. I also think the legs being a completely different color than the arms doesn't help this Droideka, but there are aspects of the design that I can appreciate, like the shaping and gap on the top and rear of the Droideka I think are just about perfect for what you could do at this scale. Like, whoever made this definitely gave it their best shot. Unfortunately, Droidekas don't really translate too well in this scale, and this is just another example. It's unfortunate, but it's reality. Part of me still thinks the early 2000s version is the best, but at the end of the day, I'd really love to see them try a Droideka where they actually make specific molded parts for a Droideka. I think that would turn out pretty dang good. Oh, and in case you're curious, this is what the Droideka looks like when you try to roll it up. It's doable, it doesn't look great, but you can do it. It's time to talk about the real star of the show with the Droideka. This, to me, immediately has become maybe my favorite all-time LEGO Star Wars buildable character. Better than Grogu, better than BD-1, better than Dio. I think this one goes without saying. This thing simply looks amazing, and it has the advantage of being a droid, and in cases like this, that's very helpful. It definitely translates better. First off, the angling and shaping of the head is really well done, as are the sensors. You have a couple of radiation sensors on the sides, and in the middle, you have the primary sensor. All three of these use a LEGO minifigure lipstick piece. Literally the perfect piece, because the dual mold for the red actually sticks out the bottom and creates a perfect little eye effect, or a sensor effect, for the Droideka. Literally insane. It works so well. Moving back on the Droideka, we have the back shell plating, and I think it looks really good. The brown color looks very nice on the outside. It does have some sticker detail, which you might not like, so I get that, but it definitely looks very good from a lot of angles, and it's very strong, which we'll see later is very useful. Locking in our focus to the middle torso section, you can see it's very nicely plated off. It doesn't look overly technic-y, but in the areas that do have a lot of exposed technic, fortunately, there's only a few exposed tan pieces. There's no exposed blue or red pieces that you wouldn't want on a collector's display set like this. So generally, the coloring is very good in that middle section, especially when it gets very, very technical. They were able to avoid using red and blue where they would be exposed and ugly. So very nice. This middle section also makes for a good area to grab the Droideka. So if you ever have to pick it up and move it, it's kind of like a little bit of a grip there. You can also grab it from the front side here. I mean, really, you can grab it from anywhere, but it just is a very sensible place to place your hand around and grab if you want. Each arm has the twin blasters built onto them. They look amazing, and they have cables running into them, little rubber cables, so they actually have a really nice flow to them, providing them with power. Looking at it from behind, you can get a better idea of how those cables flow. It's just great. On the side of each arm, there's a sticker on this panel for additional detailing, and as well detailed as the arms are, the best part about them has to be the functionality, where they can actually have a bit bit of recoil, much like you see in the movie when the Droideka shoots, one arm will go back and the other forward, and it's just back and forth, back and forth. It's a really sick function that they were able to include. And from the top down, you can get a better idea of how the function works. I think it's amazing that they were able to include that, and it's something fun that you can do, and just a slight added posability too for your Droideka to make it feel a little less static perhaps. Looking lower on the Droideka, we have our final stickers on these shield plates here. That's what it looks like on the inside, and you can see the Droideka's abs there too. Nice. Looking to the bottom of the Droideka, everything looks really good here. The legs have a great color to them, also a great design, and even the bottom of the Droideka, there's no weird colors or anything showing through, so all of that is very well appreciated for a nice display model like this. The legs on this guy are also very sturdy, so you don't have to worry about them breaking or anything. They're very well built. And while of course you could remove any other piece from the set at any time, the legs are specifically removable so that you can fold the Droideka up. Now in the back of the manual, there are step-by-step instructions that tell you exactly how to fold up the Droideka, so we're going to follow those. Step 1 is to flip these down on both sides of the Droideka. Then we need to fold both arms up and in, followed by pushing our shield plates out to about there. Then we'll push the head down a couple notches and push the body forward a couple notches. The final step is to remove the legs and flip them over, and these will create a very nice strong shell. And so with it rolled up in a ball, I could see some people wanting to display it like this. The bottom is flat, and so you can just place it down like that and it can look cool on display. If you want to do it like that, totally your prerogative. I still think it looks way better in its fully expanded position, ready to fight, but it does also look pretty cool as a ball. And it rolls reasonably well without pieces just falling off. You would think pieces on a display set like this might be a little more fragile, might have gone a little crazy with some of the building techniques, but no, this thing actually rolls really nicely on carpet and on hard surfaces without any real major issues. Like I said, the legs create kind of a nice shell that protects, or skeleton that protects the actual like fragile parts that you would think the Droideka would have, as does the brown shell on the back of the Droideka. So it can look really good like this if you want to display it like that, and it can roll really nice. It's not necessarily a play set, but it technically is a play function. I just wouldn't recommend buying this for kids to play with. Still, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. There was maybe a better set for kids to play with back in the day. Oh, it doesn't even fit in the frame. That there is the Technic Destroyer droid from the year 2000, and it was a tried and true playset with a insane functionality to be able to roll and actually pop out when it was done rolling. So that was actually pretty sick. This one doesn't have that same functionality. You have to manually unfold it and put it back into its ready to fight position. I'll have a full comparison video on my YouTube channel in the future, but you can see the older Technic one dwarves the new display one in size. It was actually quite a surprise to me. I had no idea the old one would be so much larger. I think it's fairly obvious that I really like this set and probably think you should buy it too. I mean, that Droideka build there is just about perfect. It's effectively a 10 out of 10 with great part usage for those lipstick pieces. It looks amazing. It's as perfect as you could want. The other Droideka build in this set, not so much. Like 0 out of 10, 10 out of 10 kind of thing going on there. The printed plaque is nice. The printed brick is nice. The packaging is really nice. The instruction manual was really nice. So overall, everything about the set, except that right there for the most part, is about perfect. Of course, price tends to be a sticking point with a lot of people on sets like this, and at $65, it at least has a couple of nice printed parts, but there are a lot of stickers that you would wish would be printed, I suppose, for a $65 adult set. So I can see the argument going either way, that it should have been $5 or $10 cheaper, which is something I feel like you can say about anything with Lego, so it does get a bit repetitive. But at the end of the day, I think the build is so good that it might just be worth that full price tag if you find yourself wanting to buy this at full price. I don't think you're going to feel guilty about it just because of how good this build is and these printed pieces. It makes it feel a little bit more palatable. Let me know what you think about it in the comments section below. Hit like if you enjoyed, and you can check out more 2024 set reviews on the end screen now.